right, you are tuned into another brand new episode of the Rocker Dog Podcast, the only show that talks to musicians about their dogs and the value these creatures bring to their lives. I'm your host, Tim Dill, coming to you alongside my valuable creature, Charlie, and today we are psyched to bring you our conversation with Hannah Hooper and Christian Zacconi of the band Grouplove, whose hit 2023 album, I Want It All Right Now, is out in a deluxe version with 6 new tracks. And this is their really mellow Rocker Dog.
Talking about Cheese.
And Cheese, you mentioned, was a Labradoodle.
Yes.
And how old is Cheese?
6 months old.
Oh, he's only 6 months old.
Yeah. So he's new.
Fantastic.
Have you had people that have been dog owners for like 2 months on the show?
I think so. We're coming up to our 100th episode, so I'm starting to lose track. But so my first question is always the context. So take me back 6 months ago, and what was, what initiated this move to get Cheese in your life?
Well, okay. First of all, we have a song on our album called Cheese, and it's our daughter's favorite song. And for years, she's been asking for a dog. And she wanted this specific dog, like a caramel colored Labradoodle, because my sister has that dog and they're the same age. So they sort of live together. And our daughter's neurodiverse. So we wanted to help, we've heard a lot about service dogs helping kids who have, our daughter's particularly scared in crowds. She gets overwhelmed. So we started talking to people. We found this amazing trainer who trained eventually Cheese into helping Willa. So right now I'm the mommy, but pretty soon Willa will be.
That's amazing.
Cheese is my son. Yeah. Right. Cheese follows me absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. So fun.
I'm sorry, Cheese follows who absolutely everywhere?
Me everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I was interesting. I was wondering the dynamic between the two, because it seems like, I know in my family, my dog he finds his person, and then that becomes the Velcro, the Velcro dog to the person.
Yeah. I think I'm the person.
I think that's going to be forever.
No.
I don't think Willa's going to be able to peel that Velcro off.
I know. Like he went to the trainers a few weeks ago, and I was like in the bathroom, and I just felt alone in there.
Now, do you guys have a history with dogs growing up separately?
I did. Yeah. We've rescued a bunch of different dogs in my house in San Francisco, and we've had like English Cocker Spaniels. I feel like my mom was sort of pulled to always like some kind of Cocker Spaniel something. They all came in just like really scared of men and really scared of everything. And then, they became part of the family. So
did any have a profound effect on you at a certain age or growing up?
What's weird is I really remember when they died. Like that's when I was young, my third Thanksgiving, our first dog died. And then, but I don't know. I think there was like a sense of responsibility I got, and I just always loved animals. So that was really probably it.
Okay.
But,
and were you two both on the same page when it came to Cheese?
I was a little nervous because I never grew up with dogs. My mom had cats when I was growing up, so this is my first experience. So I was really excited about it, but it was just so unknown to me. And I didn't realize what a responsibility it is, but I enjoy it, and I'm like all up for it. But
he also has asthma. We were like kind of nervous. I was like, well, it's a doodle. So we wanted to see like what that would be like, but
and it's been pretty good. Like if I rub him a lot and then like just touch my eyes immediately or something, I'll feel a little bit, or my breathing will become a little tight. So I've been like back on my inhalers more than I have been the last like 15 years. But it's like totally fine, and it's manageable, and
it's totally fine.
I'm all for it. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
It's really sweet seeing him with Cheese, like play, like when Willa and Christian, our daughter's name is Willow, and they're like outside, like playing with Cheese, it honestly fills my heart. Like it's amazing.
Reading this really cool book called The Dog Listener by this woman named Jan. I forget her name, but she's like a woman who lives in England, and she has this way of like training dogs, but she kind of just goes through like what's happening with dogs and how they kind of adhere to a family. And I just find it like fascinating. So I'm like learning more about it as much as I can.
He taught me to always walk outside before Cheese. He's like, no. You got to walk outside before Cheese, because then it shows that you are in control. And I was like,
yeah,
you're the alpha.
Yeah, the alpha, right?
Yeah, basically it's all about the wolf pack and how they still have that in them, and then they get super stressed out when they feel like they are the leader when a lot of them aren't equipped to be. So you have to like really let them off the hook in a way and show them, hey man, you don't have to worry about it. I got this. I'll keep you safe. You don't have to protect the whole family all the time, kind of thing. So it's just
Yeah.
really interesting to learn about.
So you mentioned training. So is the dog getting specifically trained to help your daughter?
Yeah, he's a little too young for that, but we wanted
Uh,
like Jeannie Hodson is the name of our trainer. That's our shout out.
okay.
But she wanted to just like, they needed to get to know each other too. So when it does come time, I think around when he's about 2 years old is when that kind of
Okay.
training.
Yep. Yep.
But like, she took him when we went on
We went on
a little mini tour.
yeah.
And so it was a great time for her to be with him. And he came back like 4.5 months old, sitting, staying, and
Yeah.
pretty good on the leash. And I was just like, because as someone who's never done any training with dogs and had dogs my whole life, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's the way to go. We did a boarding, like a week boarding situation, and the dog came back. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah, it feels like I cheated.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is crazy. Yeah,
And then they need to train you.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. That's always,
Exactly.
yeah, we always have like when we think we're picking cheese up, there's always like this 2 hour breakdown, you know? And I'm like, some of this will stick.
Yeah. Now, whenever I have a doodle, since I have a doodle, I'm privy to, seeing this. But were you aware of this New York Times article back in 2019 that the Labradoodle creator regretted creating the breed?
No
No,
way.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Why
won't
did
go.
you?
I just had a doodle. My previous guest to this is a doodle owner, so I won't regurgitate the whole thing. But it's basically I think he's an Australian. He says the article says Labradoodle creator says the breed is his life's regret.
Oh
I
my
opened
Whoa.
up
God.
I opened up Pandora's box and released a Frankenstein monster. And his name's Wally Conrun, who developed the quote unquote mop-headed breed. But it's in the context that he
Wow.
breeded this popular dog. It's super cute. It's got a catchy name, and it's been abused by, unscrupulous breeders. So that's
Oh,
kind of the context where he came from. Because he does go on to say it's like they've been overbred to be a little bit, a little crazy and a little neurotic, which frankly my dog a little is. My dog's a golden.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm just curious, does I think one of the common traits or common complaints with that dog is the separation anxiety. And Hannah, you already mentioned it, it's kind of Velcro to you, but if you're leaving the home, does it stress out? Does it show signs of anxiety?
When he was like really young, I mean, we've only had him, in our life for
Yeah.
like two,
3 months.
3 months. Yeah. When he was like just a puppy and I'd like run in to grab something from the car, yeah, I was totally freaked out. But he's a really mellow dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that like high stress and stuff I hear about other doodles. I feel like we either just picked a really great,
Well, the trainer was there with us with the litter, and like she did tests and stuff to find out which one was like the best suited to become a service dog
That's great.
with a kid, So maybe he just passed all those tests because other dogs in the litter, she's like, this is not,
but
he will
Willow
not be a good service
Willa
dog.
picked. She was like, I just want the caramel one to be like my sister's dog, Claude. And she was like, I'm sorry, honey, like you might get the black one, you might get the white one, you might get the one. And she was like, I really want that one. And then it happened to be that I was like, thank.
Yeah. Um, and besides like dropping him at the trainers, like when we do some weekend shows or stuff, and he seems to like it there because he's a lot of open space. There's other dogs always there that he can socialize with. He's pretty cool. So we haven't really left him alone in the house yet.
Yeah, we
Like
haven't.
dog or something like that.
Or crate training at night.
We
Actually,
haven't done that yet.
the air conditioning's not working in that house we're in right now. And so last night was the first night not in the crate because I was like, I think he's gonna suffocate in there. So I don't know the crate. Like I know did you crate train?
I did. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't
Yeah,
easy. The
it
dog, the
is.
dog, when he finally slept through the night, would still get up at like 4:30 or 5. And it wasn't until the first night I left him sleep in my bed that he slept through the night, didn't wake me up until I got up, and I was like, all right, we're done. But I did do it for probably, it was months. It was months of
Yeah.
Yeah, I
doing it.
wonder how long we should do it for.
I know. I mean, I hear people are supposed to do it for a year, but I'm like, we brought his like dog bed next to our bed last night. I know he wanted to get on the bed, but
He did get out at one point.
You did.
I brought him up.
Oh, you
You were
did?
asleep, and he was just like staying up, and I was like, "What's going on with him?" And he was like, seemed nervous or something. So I put him on the bed, and he tried to get comfortable for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then he went back down again. So I'm not sure.
And anyway, it
Maybe
was,
he was bummed because you were sleeping, and he was like, "This isn't worth it. She doesn't even know I'm here, so I'm gonna go back downstairs."
all I can say is, I
Well,
like the idea of him in a bed and like he can, go to the door and see if someone's there, do whatever he wants to do, rather than
Yeah.
being in a crate. It feels so like wrong. And we're feeding him in the crate right now.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never crate trained, you know?
I mean, when it works, it's great because it becomes their spot, their little safe haven. But it's like I struggled the same way as you guys. Like I said, it was it just didn't seem to be ever easy. And people are like, oh, put a blanket over it and it'll be cave-like and I'll love it. And you tried that one week and it's like I didn't really see a difference. I still got up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Also,
That's
I
funny.
feel like he's gonna suffocate. He's like he needs to be trimmed right now too, and it's hot, and there's a towel over it. And I'm just like, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
last night, it's real quick. You were sleeping, and I was like, he's out of the crate, and then I was like, should I let him like roam the house? And I was like, should I keep the door closed and like make the room a crate in a way? So at first I let the door open because he kept wanting to go out, and then I was like trying to fall asleep, and I was like, I don't know.
You're like, take a shit.
Or if he's gonna no, it's safe, or he's gonna start barking in the middle of the night, if, if it's a shadow or something. So I was like, all right, or if he's gonna like eat something I don't realize is on the floor.
Right.
So I brought him back into the room, closed the door.
Dude, I didn't know all this went down.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah.
Well, I often ask this as a joke because I'm asking to like metalcore bands, and the question is your dog on brand? And I know it's not a joke to you guys because at least in my perception, in some of the ways you guys are described, your music, unabashed playful spirit, untamed spontaneity. I saw something where you guys said from the get-go, the band's always about bringing joy and a sense of safety and inclusion. So to me, it would be a no-brainer that your dog is on brand.
Yeah, I guess our dog is on brand.
Yeah, I never thought of
And
that.
super cute. What's funny is like we had absolutely no say in this whole thing, but I've never loved a dog more. I can say off the bat. Like I mean, I have to say he has human eyes. I want to bring him up to the camera. You can see I've never seen a dog. I feel like if we are reincarnated, I don't know what human this is, but it's the gentlest, like kindest. I see a person in him. It's bizarre. I've seen dog with dog eyes. You know what I mean? This is a dog with human eyes. Is that normal in the doodle?
In the Labradoodle, yeah. They've got incredible eyes. The golden doodles aren't so much. The golden doodles still have the kind of standard poodle or golden retriever.
Yeah, because I think of like golden retrievers are like cartoon dog eyes. You know what I mean? They're just like dots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But I know what you mean. I've seen those. I mean, that's how they get Instagram famous. Just that face and those eyes. They look right. They look right into your soul.
Ew.
Now, when you guys next time you get into heavy touring mode, is there any plans to take the dog with you?
Yeah, I mean, if Willa comes, Cheese comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But we are like, we're going back out with Pink in November for a really short tour, and he won't be ready to like, I don't know, the thing about touring, it's weird. It's like, if we're doing a lot of traveling, it's just not really fair to a dog, to me.
Yeah.
Especially because he's just like active. He wants to, I don't know, but he also like, who knows, maybe he will have separation anxiety and just needs to stay close, and that will be the comfort. But we are about to go into like writing zone mode.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was upset to learn that the song Cheese precedes Cheese.
Yeah.
So where did Cheese get his name? From the song?
I guess the demo and early recordings of it had been around before we got Cheese.
And Willa heard it and was like, I want a dog named Cheese. And I think the plan, honestly, is to get another dog and even Mac. From Willa, I've been learning that her whole plan all along is to have Mac and Cheese. And so
I love it.
Yeah. And the trainer in front of Willa was like, oh, well, if you're going to or the breeder was like, if you're going to get a dog, it's best to get a second one around 9 months. And Willa was like,
mark your calendars.
Yeah, I know. Like, oh.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm down with 2 dogs.
I mean, we see a lot of 2 dogs in this neighborhood, and everyone's like, I think it's like 2 kids, it's like, they play together. They love each other. Do you have 2 dogs?
I don't, but I wish I made that move because we brought it up. My wife brought it up, and I'm like, why? This is great the way it is. But now I'm like, let's get 10. But
I
she's
know.
she's not really on that. I've become obsessed. I mean, obviously, I
Yeah.
started a podcast about
Yeah.
dogs,
Yeah.
so you can kind of see where I'm heading.
I know, but I
Right,
love this whole idea, this concept. Like, it's great.
Thank
Because
you,
there's
thank you.
so like, I guess when you don't have a dog, and I kind of had, 10 years without a dog, where you forget how they are such an important part of your life. And you kind of like, I mean, right now Cheese goes everywhere with us, but when dogs get older, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, I actually can't go. I got to go home and walk my dog. And like, do you know if I can bring my dog? And I'm like, I don't want to go overnight because of my dog.
Yeah,
And a lot of people on the outside see that as a pain, but actually it's like we love our dogs. We
yeah,
just
yeah.
we don't want to like neglect them. We want to make sure that whatever we do, they can come hopefully with us.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I've learned through this is just a lot of dogs are considered family.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. I just had a kind of a running question about, are you that dog guy? Because I saw, with one of my guests that they did do, not extreme, but it's just like, once I saw they did certain things, I'm like, all right, let's go through this list. Do you do this? Do you do this? And
Yeah.
and if you're a dog person, you're like, that's great. If you're not a dog person, you're like, that person's crazy.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I was going to with the name Cheese and the song Cheese, I was just wondering, has Cheese been a muse in any way? And Hannah, I know you're a painter.
Yeah.
Has Cheese reached muse status yet?
I think cheese is the catalyst for me of getting outside, which creates is where all my inspiration kind of through movement. Like that's when I start thinking of melodies, or when I like visually see something that I want to, I don't know, draw, or makes me think outside the box. Like, so the fact that I get out, I normally am someone who used to like exercise in the morning and then just like go into a hole all day. And now I'm like taking all this time throughout my day up until the last minute before I go to bed. And it's really like changed a lot. Like I
Hmm.
feel like I've been much more creative. It's kind of crazy.
Mhm.
We've had so much less time. We've been doing a lot recently, and I've been much more creative than
That's
ever.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Great to hear. And do
Yeah.
you notice with friends and bandmates and people around you, does Cheese or just a dog in general bring out the best in people?
The best. And
Yeah, real fast.
also the weird voice. You immediately
Yeah,
are
well,
like, oh, you're like the
we're,
weird voice. Like we all have the voice, like when I'm alone, she's on the cheese. But our guitar player, who actually hasn't met Cheese yet, but just by looking at photos, because he's the only member who lives in Northern California, but he with just pictures, he's like, oh my God, he's so cute.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We're going to get there. The dog voice. There's a couple of things we've already touched upon, and we can actually go there. But this is the zoomies. I call the last 5 questions.
oh
They're
yeah.
fast and frivolous. And the first question is, do you kiss Cheese on the mouth?
Okay, so at first a lot. Our daughter got something we didn't know, but it's like a puppy bacteria. Do you know
Oh
about this?
no,
Before they're
no.
6 months. So before they're 6 months old, they can like transfer a pretty intense, it's like diarrhea and vomiting for 24 hours at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
And so she got that, and so now we don't do the kisses because we don't want, we want to be like, we can do it, but you can't. So
Yes.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting because I usually get it's usually a yes or no answer, but this has
yeah,
been a learning experience with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Question two is, does your dog have a theme song? Like what would their red carpet music be?
Not yet, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. We do play like the Superman theme song a lot, which I feel like when Cheese is like in the wind, I get a very like superhero
But
vibe.
like, I have a question. Do dogs respond to music or various music differently? Do you notice that? Because I haven't really noticed it yet.
I haven't noticed it, but
Oh, wow, maybe. Yeah,
I've asked that question and it's kind of black or white. The dogs either, and dogs have sensitive ears, so it's, they either leave the room or, try to push the guitar out of their hands or
Yeah.
they like it. The
yeah.
person I had this morning said, yeah, the dog seems to really like the music, and that goes back to when it was a puppy.
Right. That's what we're trying to like
We're trying to figure
play
out.
music out of the studio speakers, and Willow loves listening to music in the car. We've been listening to a lot of Clash lately. She's finally discovered the Clash, so
Nice.
curious if Cheese likes it, and she wants to turn it up so loud, and I was like, we can't,
You can't,
Cheese in the
yeah.
car, I don't know, like,
I
how
know.
loud he can
Actually,
handle
our
it,
Jeannie, the trainer who I asked millions of things to, she said just slowly bring Cheese in when we're recording. Because like on days when we go in to record, I'm like, there's a dog already in the studio, and I can tell he's miserable. I actually can tell that dog is like, please, it's too loud. So there's actually like dog
Headphones.
headphones, which I'm
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
yeah, I know what she was saying. Maybe do that because the drums and things like that, like
Yeah, there's certain instruments I think that'll really be
for me,
punishing to them.
for
Yeah.
me too, though, and I'm just like not even hearing it that level,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed you went on tour earlier in the spring with Bully,
Yeah.
and Alicia was on the show. She's a really big dog advocate. Her dog, she's got that little dog and had the headphones that
Cool.
look really funny. But I
Yeah.
mean, in instances like that, and also I started this whole show with Eva from Pink.
Yeah, I
She's
saw that.
my very first guest.
That's
And I'm
so
just wondering, did dogs ever come up in your conversation, ever come up in your everyday lives as musicians to fellow musicians?
I mean, when we were on tour with Alicia, we definitely were like missing our dogs together, and that was in between like stressing if we lost our voice and like doing gargling weird concoctions together. We were like, "Where's my dog?" I mean, it would be just as like I don't know, the way Cheese will just come and like lean on me and like just make me feel so loved and kind of like I genuinely feel my whole body calmer having a dog around. It's
Yeah.
pretty, but yeah, tour, it's just a loud, like dark place to have an animal.
Yeah.
Out there. It's crazy.
Now, question 3, hypothetically,
Yeah.
if Cheese does come out on tour, what does Cheese want on the rider?
Oh, Cheese wants bully sticks, which by the way, first conversation I had with Alicia was I was like, have you ever looked up what a bully stick is?
Oh, no, if you Google it, you have to put on like safe search.
No, I mean, I was just like, it's a bull's stick.
Oh,
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
I don't know. I was just like, whoa. Because anyway, there's a really cute dog shop around the corner. And I was like, what should I get? Like for a 6-month-old puppy. And they were like, a bully stick. And I was just like, what is this?
He likes apples.
He loves apples.
Oh, great.
Sort of likes peanut butter. I feel like he's like over it because I've used it to try to help him through a lot.
Does Cheese like cheese?
He loves
He
cheese.
loves
I was
cheese.
going to say my dog loves cheese.
Yeah, he loves cheese. I think too much cheese gives the runs though. I've learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, question 4, we kind of led us here, and that was the dog voice. And I've kind of broken it into 2 ways. Do you use a dog voice when you speak to the dog? Like, do you go high or low, whatever? And the second part is, do you imagine what the dog's voice sounds like and personify the dog?
Yeah.
I mean, we sometimes talk like we're like Cheese is like, no man, I'm good. I'm good. Like Cheese is really laid back,
Right.
But yeah, we
In
have
Willa's mind, he like speaks in like a low bark voice.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
fruit show. I think he's kind of like a little stoner dog. He's just like,
Yeah, well, he's got the look, especially with the
Yeah.
long hair and
Like shaggy.
and the eyes. Those
Yeah,
eyes.
exactly. Yeah, we have. I mean, I have like a high dog voice, and I've seen it. But when I see like a really cute dog, I like squat down, and I'm one of those people like doesn't ask the owner. Like all the episode goes out the window, and I'm just like, oh, there's a dog. And I'm like, it's so funny that I'm that person because I'm just like that's so like they could be training. You just never know what stage they're in, and I'm just like down there. So yeah, when I think about it, I annoy myself.
We promote that on this show. We like that. We like that type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And last but not least, you mentioned it at the top of the show, but who do you want to give a shout out to? It's a dog organization or a service, but it sounded like you want to give your trainer the props.
Yeah, our trainer Jeannie Hodson, she's in the Atlanta metro area, and I mean she does do service dog training, but she also does all dog training and undoing bad behavior. And she's just like the kindest, most chill person. So you can come in knowing nothing, and she doesn't make you feel like an idiot.
That's great. Great.
And I really appreciate that because I thought I knew more, and I knew nothing.
Great. Yeah, if you have info, I always put that shout out on the show notes. So when it posts to Apple, iTunes, or wherever, Spotify, people can see it. So yeah, any info, I'll pass it along.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's also very cool that you do this. I think
Yeah.
this is like probably my favorite themed podcast ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Help me spread the word.
Yeah, I'm gonna spread the word.
Well, let's get a little bit of the band involved. What's going on for the rest of the summer? You guys going to be? I know you just finished a big gig at Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the year look like?
You know, it's pretty slow. We're writing a lot right now. We have some shows in the fall. We're going back out with Pink for like 9 shows in November. Sheryl Crow's on 1 or 2 of those shows, so that's going to be
Oh,
cool.
great.
Watch her set. And it'll be nice to like get back with Pink because we were with her last summer. And now like we know everyone in the band, like you said, Eva, and we just know the crew and the
Yeah.
musicians in the band. So we're much more assured of ourselves in these giant stadiums and stuff now than we were a year ago.
We
Maybe.
should play quietly to a stadium full of dogs. Just see how it goes.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But that's it through like November, and then we're just gonna really start picking what songs are speaking to us at the time and really figuring out the next album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it. I know a lot of people look forward to it. But I just want to say thanks for coming on the show. You know, whenever I pursue people or whenever I see they have dogs that I pursue, I'm like, please, please, please make it happen. I was very psyched to get you 2 on, and thanks for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Tim. We
Such a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Yeah.
For real.